What is going on, guys? It is Mr. Eyes Tutor here, and I'm back with another video. Let's just get rid of this ugly screen recording and get rid of this as well, because we're open on this. And today we're going to go through our next GCSE topic, which is ordering numbers. Now, this one is much shorter than the previous one, so this shouldn't take us too long, because this is going to be a much shorter video, depending on the kind of questions that come up. I don't think these ones are too difficult. It's just the case of putting numbers in the correct order from smallest to largest. Most of this you'd have probably done in primary school, so it should not be too terrible. So our first question, question 1I, says write these numbers in order of size. Start with the smallest number. So our smallest number is very obvious to me, is the number 9. So we've got that. Now, in order to find the next number, we've got to find the next number that has the smallest amount of tens, and in this case, that is 37, so we're going to put that in there. So then the next number, we've actually got two numbers which could be next. It could be 56 or 59, and we look which one has the smallest amount of ones, and obviously it's 56. And then that means that's followed by 59, and then we're going to follow that by 75. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail for questions when we're ordering numbers that like that, because it's completely unnecessary. I'll still do the questions, but it'll just be the case of me just telling you what they are, because there's only much explaining to do. Right, now we've got question 1II. Now, this time we're dealing with decimals, so we've got 0.56, 0.0067, then we've got 0.6, 0.65, and 0.605. Now, I'm going to have to do a bit of highlighting here. How am I going to have to do a bit of highlighting? Can we do that? No, we should be fine. We don't need to do highlights. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So, as you can probably see, these numbers are different lengths. So, for example, 0.5, so we've got 0.56, which is only 3 digits long. We've got 0.6, which is 2, etc., etc., etc. So, I'm actually going to be looking at the place value column. So, this 0 here represents the ones. So, this is the ones, that's the ones, that's the ones, and you get the idea. Every 0 before the decimal point at the front is the ones. And then the numbers after we've got are called the tenths. And then the number after that, in this case, is the hundredths. And then if you've got a number after that, it's the thousandths. So that'll be on that one and that one. So the best way to work out the smallest number in this case is we're going to look at the tenths column first of all. So as you can see, this one's a 5, this one's a 0, this one's a 6, this one's also a 6, and this one is also a 6. So the best way to look at it is you look at so if we go to the tenths column for 0.067, we can see that the number in the tenths column is a 0. And there's no other number in this sequence that has a number has the number 0 as its in its tenths column. So this is actually going to be our smallest number. So when you're answering questions like this, it's always best to look at the tenths column, and then that'll help you decide the smallest value. So we don't need to worry about that one anymore. Now, our next one is actually 0.56, because this is the only one that has the 5 in its tenths column. And then we've got our last 3. We've actually all got 6s. So, in this case, 0.6 is going to come next because it's by itself. 0.6 is another way of saying 0.60, and so on and so forth. Now here where it gets a little bit tricky. So we've got 0.65 and 0.605. So what you're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to, because when it comes to the thousandths column, which is, so as you can see, small one's got the thousands column. We've got 0.605. So if I'm actually going to put an extra text box here. So if I put a text box here, so we've got 0.605. Right, that's 0.605. But how this is going to work is, so we've got 0.605 here, but I'm actually going to add another text box here as well for 0.65. So when it comes to 0.65, it's a bit of a weird one. It is also the same as 0.650. So it's always best to, oh god, that is not how I want it. Hang on. Let's move this out of the way further this way. Then I can stretch that out a bit so it doesn't look like that. Perfect. So this is actually the same as 0.650, which makes this the bigger number. So when it comes to the exam and you get a situation like this, always add the 0 onto the end of a two-digit number. It's also the same for 0.6 as well. That'll become 0.60, so on and so forth. But you can clearly see that the 0.605 is the next biggest. So we're going to put 0. Oh God, what is it doing? What is he doing? We're going to get rid of that. Sorry, give me a second. Comma. No, it should be fine. 0.605. And then we're going to put another comma. And then that'll be 0.65. You've got to remember in the exam though not to write it like that, or as it'll be marked down. It has to be written like it is within the question. I hope I explained that well. If not, let me know. Let me know in the comments below, because yeah, it was a bit of an iffy one that. Anyway, question number 3. So this one. Can you get rid of that edit text? Edit. There we go. Back to this. Brilliant. So this one, we've got 5 minus 6 minus 10 to a minus 4. So with minus numbers, you always start with the biggest minus number that is considered the smallest. So in this case, it's minus 10. Nice and simple. Then we've got minus 6. And then this is straightforward afterwards. So wait, hold on. Yeah, we've got a minus 4 as well. So I didn't even realize there was a minus 4 there. So we've got minus 4. And then we've got 2 and 5 left. So obviously, you know that 2 is smaller than 5. And then last but not least, 5 is the biggest. Job done. I'm not going to go into too much detail with that. Should be fairly confident. I'm mainly going to be going for the decimal ones. Right. Question 2A. We've got 76, 103, 13, 113, 67. So we've got 3 two-digit numbers we need to deal with first. So let's go for them first. We've got 13 as the smallest. 67 next, 76 next, and then we've got 103, 130, so we know that 103, and then we've got 130. In questions like this, you can also determine based on how many digits the numbers are and all the rest if you want to. It's not really necessary, but it could help you. Right, so we've got minus 3, 5, 0, minus 7, and minus 1 next. So to start with, we've got 2 minus numbers to deal with first. The rule I said before is the bigger the minus number, the smaller the number. So minus 7 will be our first number. This is then followed by minus 3, and then this is then followed by minus 1. Then we've got a 0 and a 5 left, and we obviously know that 0 is smaller than 5, so that goes next, and then last but not least is 5. When you're doing this in the exam, always make sure you cross these numbers off as well, so you don't repeat them or whatever, and you always check them and stuff like that. Anyway, 2C, we have got 0.72, 0.7, 0.072, 0.07, and 0.702. So remember before I said to look at the tenths column, and in this case, we've got 2 numbers that have a 0 in the tenths column. So we've got 0.072 and we've got 0.07. If I was to add a additional digit on for the thousandths column for the 0.07, I could very well, it'd become 0.070. So, and you can clearly see out of both of those that the 0.07 is the smaller value because this was 0.072, this was 0.070. So I'm going to put that to 0.07. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to confuse everybody. So get rid of the 0. And then up next, by the process of elimination, we've got 0.07. So we've got 0.072. Right, our next numbers, we have got 0.72, 0.7, 0.702. So I'm going to add a 0 next to this to make it 0.070. And then the next one is 0, then we've got 0.72, leave it as it is, and we've got 0.702. So we can clearly see that the 0.7 is the next biggest because the next one has a 2 at the end, and 0.702 is bigger than 0.7. So we're going to put 0.702 next. And if you remember, if I was to put a 0 at the end of the 0.72, that would become 720, and that's clearly bigger than 702. So I'm going to therefore put 0.72 there as my final answer. Hope this is making sense to you guys so far. It should do. And if it doesn't, then I'm really sorry, but I'm trying my best. Right, this question 3A, nice and simple question, really. We've got 6, then we've got 17, then we've got 24, then we've got 168. Very straightforward. If you might get asked these questions in the first set of questions in the exam. Quite unlikely, but if you do, consider yourself lucky, I guess, because that's a very easy ordered number question. These are real questions. They have come from the past, but I don't think they come up as much anymore. Right. This is a different kind of decimal question, but it shouldn't be too difficult because so we've got 1, 3, 0, and 12, and these are all. So that's these. This is the ones. This is the ones. That's the ones. That's the one. That's actually the tens. Then it's the ones. So it shouldn't be too bad. So we can clearly see that 0.5 is the smallest, comma. 1.8 is the next biggest, comma. Then we've got 3.71, comma, and we've got 12.4. So for these ones, it's just about looking at the numbers before the decimal point, whichever one's the smallest or the biggest, you put them in order. You may be told in the exam, by the way, I probably should have pointed this out way at the start. It may say start with the biggest number. I don't know if it's happened before, but it can do, so you read the questions carefully. Anyway, question number 4. We've got a nice simple ordering of the numbers, so we just put 7 because that's the only one. Then we've got 23 next, comma, 39, comma, 49, comma, and 78. Nice and simple, nothing too crazy about that one. Then we've got another lovely decimal question. So I'm going to be looking at the tenths first, and we can clearly see that we've got 0.017. There's no other one with a 0 as the tenths. So we can put that right in there. Then we've got a comma. And then we can see that there's also there's a 0.15, and that's a 1 in the tenths, and there's no other one with a 1 in the tenths. So again, that's going to be our next number. So we've got 0.15. Then up next, so we've had our 0, we've had our 1. I can actually see a 4 here, and there's no other one with a 4. Nope, because the other two are 5. So this will be our next biggest. So 0.405. Perfect. And then last one is we've got 0.51, 0.5. Well, straight away, if I was to put a 0 next to that, it'd become 0.50, and that's obviously smaller than 51. So I'm going to put 0.5 here, comma, and then 0.51 there. I hope you guys understood my explanation for these decimals. Yeah, I mean, I've explained it very quickly, but I'm trying to get through these as quickly as possible because these are the more simpler topics, and it shouldn't be too terrible. Right, we've got a minus number situation. So the biggest minus number we've got is minus 15. That's going to be our first number. Then we've got a minus 6. Then we've got a minus 4. Then we've got 4 on its own. And then we've got 5. And that should be it for that one. Job done. Okie dokie. This one, again, there's nothing too crazy to do. We've got 16, 123, 73, 140, and 77. So our smallest number is 16, then we've got 73, then we've got 77, then we've got 123, then we've got 140. That's that one done. Then for this one, we've got some minus numbers again. It's not too bad. So we look for the biggest minus numbers, which is -5. This is then followed by -4. Then we've got a -2. Then we have got a 3, which +3. Then we've got a 5. Job done. Right, these decimals, we should be getting a bit better at them now. So if we scroll, oh God, if we scroll down here, so let's look at our tenths columns first. So we've got a 0.6, 0.5, 0.0, 0.0, 0.0, 0.5. Okie dokie. So we've got two 0.0s this time. So the way I'm going to play this actually, so we've got 0.06 here, 62 here. So I could add 2 zeros to this to give it 100, give it a thousandths column. Yeah, so give it. If I had extra couple of zeros here, it would become 0.600. Oh, sorry, no, sorry, 0.6. That's 0.60. Beg your pardon. So and we can clearly see that's the small of the two, so we make that 0. So 0.06 is going to come first. This is then immediately followed by 0.062. So that's that one done. I'm going to get rid of that 0 so it doesn't confuse you guys. Then we need to look at our tenths column again. So this time we've got two 0.5s again, because we've got, see, if I was to add a couple of zeros here, it would come 0.500, and this is 502, which was the bigger number, the 502 one. So I'm going to put 0.5 next. Then this is going to be followed by 0.502 to finish it off. Question 6, we've got some numbers. We've got a 1-digit 9, we've got a 44, we've got a 37. Oh, sorry, I almost did that wrong then. We've got a 9, we've got a 37, so you don't rush sometimes. Then we've got 44, and then we've got a 128 to finish off. That's a very generous question. Only 4 numbers. That's lovely. Right, now we've got these decimals again, so we just look at the numbers before the decimal point. Since they're all different, we're just going to order based off that. So 0.4 is the smallest. This is then followed by 1.5. This is then followed by, you've guessed it, 3.81. Then it goes to 17.4. Job done. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, that's it. We've done them all. So I hope this video helped you guys out with ordering numbers. I hope my explanation was okay for the 0 point decimals in particular. If they weren't, please let me know in the comments, and that'll help me improve for future videos. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.